Alright, this is the last one. We're watching. What am I doing? I am watching and reacting to videos. So right now, I am watching The Cruel Affair of Caroline Crouch. And I'm going to watch the video and I'm going to react to it. And I might react to a few other videos if you like. But that is what I'm doing here today. Excuse me, I'm trying something new. But we are going to get it on. So yes, right now I am watching The Cruel Affair of Caroline Crouch. This is a like murder mystery. So I guess like trigger warning if you're not into murder mysteries and like that kind of stuff. But we're on.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, what we are doing today, we're going to Greece. Yeah, finally, says the 0.1% of people from Greece who, watch me. You got your islands, sun,
We're watching a little video. I guess this one takes place in Greece.
a lot of blue, sky, sea flag.
I like this guy. I watch him. He has videos every like Tuesdays and Thursdays normally. Sometimes he does once a week, but I want to watch this one too. The Art of Fake Hiring of Hitmen too. He did one on that one. So I want to watch that one next. So I'm gonna watch that and then I'll probably stream or something.
And you've got a lot of history. I mean, I suppose kind of everywhere, has a lot of history. They just decided to jot it down. And this story will add to that history, though maybe not, in the way that they would want. Outside of Athens lies the suburb of Glycanera. And by the way, I really must say, I'm gonna just butcher some Greek names, so look forward to that. But I'm not the only butcher.
I don't know where this guy's from. I've been trying to figure out, but I always thought he was from like the UK or something, but I don't know. I need to look it up.
So let's give this story a go.
He might be from here, but I don't know.
Athens is where we are chilling today, named after the goddess Athena, the birthplace of democracy. For some, not all. It's got all the hits, all the good ones in its history, and I will go through them now one by one.
Thank you for the recap, bro.
Alright, that about covers that. People have been chilling in that city for over...
He has an accent. He does have an accent. Out of all like the little murder, like the murder mystery shows and everything like that, I feel like maybe it's because we're in the States, but a lot of them I feel like happy. There's a lot we dramatize these so much, like we love making TV shows of like people who kill people and just like this people who do bad things. We like to put it on TV. But I guess people are attracted to that kind of thing. I guess I am watching it, so I am proof that people are interested in watching this kind of thing. But I guess on a level, I'm more interested in like why people do this thing. Like why? Why? I'm curious because it's wild. But hey, I don't know.
over 5,000
I am curious to the reason why people.
years.
I guess to why people do what they do. It's interesting.
If you can believe that. And they sure as skata, that's shit in Greek, left their mark, as much as the gods have. And this story we have here, it plays out very much like one of those good old Greek tragedies I keep hearing so much about. Not really. But this one actually takes place in Greece, so I guess that's like bonus points. Glykanera is a suburb of Athens, located to the northeast.
Oop, hold on. I forgot to do a little marker thing. That boom right here. All right.
Not a whole lot to say about it, other than it was home to a house that was home to Charalambos, Babis, Anagnostopoulos, and Caroline Crouch. Guess which one was Greek and which one was British? It was from the home that they shared together with their 11-month-old baby daughter Lydia that Babis, as he went by, dialed 100. That's the Greek 911. He dialed it.
Now, I was watching this show on HBO, and they have another one that's on the Netflix. It's called The Staircase now. And in the beginning of that, I don't know, man, it sounded just like this. Now, I ain't trying to say, but hey.
With his nose. That was on the 11th of May, 2021. There had been a home invasion. Burglars, they broke in, they tortured Babis and Caroline for their money, for their valuables. And, well, when the police arrived at the house that early morning, they would find Caroline dead. She had been murdered.
I wonder how that happened. So what you're telling me, he called the police that night, and then when the police got there that morning, that she was dead? Or did they come that night and she was dead? Or I'm confused. Some ain't adding up for me right
what
now
happened,
already.
it was believed, was that in the early morning hours of the 11th of May, at about 4 a.m.,
Okay.
3 men, some armed with handguns, broke into the house in that affluent suburb, via the cellar window. A fourth stood outside to keep sketch. Caroline, who was 19 years old, 2 months shy of 20, was sleeping in the attic with her baby.
Okay.
Babis, 33, was sleeping downstairs. He was tied to a chair. Caroline was tortured, then strangled.
How did they know she was in the attic?
The family dog was also killed. Roxy had been hung from the banister on the stairs.
Come on now. Come on now.
Thankfully, the baby was unharmed. They made off with about 10-ish grand euros and about 20 grand worth of jewellery. And eventually, Babis, he managed to kind of worm his way out. He called the police at 6 a.m. They arrived, they untied Babis, and then they found Caroline upstairs, face down on her bed, with her 11-month-old daughter crying beside her. So, pretty dark, pretty disturbing, and not
Man, that is
at
messed
all
up.
something that occurs often in Greek society. Sure as shit, hope not.
All right. What y'all think happened? Yeah, I don't know, man. You think he paid them to do that? Or they just rob these just guys? How they know they have that money? You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody gonna walk in your house and rob you of 10K unless they know you got 10K to be stolen. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't nobody like that's just how I feel. Unless they just tweaking or somebody set you up. Or they trying to get somebody else, you know what I'm saying? I understand if they was trying to get a fix and they was like, bro, we need to just rob these guys with a TV. Something. I don't know, man. Let's keep on with this.
Babis and Caroline had been living together in that three-story house in Glycanera for about 2 years at
Okay.
this point. Babis, to pay the bills, he was a commercial helicopter pilot, flying around the islands that dot the shit out of the Aegean Sea. Caroline, she was a college student, studying at the University of Piraeus, studying stats, baby. That's statistics. Caroline was the daughter of a British father, Filipino mother, and born in 2001 in Liverpool, UK. She ran into Babis, they first met on the island of Alonissus. That's where she had moved as a child. The whole gang had moved there. They met when Caroline, she was still in school. She was 16, and Babis was.
Whoa, hold on. If she died when she was 19, this happened in like 2020. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How do they know she was in the? That's what I said. I don't know how they knew she was. If she was in the attic sleep, how do they know she was up there if they came downstairs? They wouldn't have known anybody else was in the house, nor have a reason to kill her. There's no reason. There would be no reason. Unless somebody was out to get her. And even then, like, why not kill them both? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, they went out, they killed the dog. You know what I'm saying? They killed the dog. And, like, they took her out and the dog, but left him and the baby. I mean, I'm glad they left the baby okay, but like they took out the dog, her and the dog. Yeah, they killed her and the dog, which was probably her dog. And to me, yeah, not the baby. So I mean, like for me, I feel like he did it because he wouldn't. He probably could kill her and the dog, but couldn't kill. Take out the baby because that's his. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think he did it. I don't know.
Was 29, so. Bit weird. He would even fly over her school in his helicopter to impress her. Jesus Christ, dude. They married in Portugal while on holiday in 2019, before moving to Glycanera, adopting little Roxy the dog, 4 cats, and a baby. And their life seemed absolutely fantastic, from the outside, lovely house, lovely wife, lovely life.
It wasn't even their baby. So what he did was okay. So he's like 20. He was 29, and she was like 16 or something, or younger. I don't know. Well, she was 19 or X when she died, but when they got married, well, he met her when she was 16, and he said he would fly his helicopter over her house to flex. I mean, okay, dude. Um, Maybe it's a weird flex, but okay. Not sure if you should be doing that. But then I guess when she turned 19 or whatever, let's run it back. I can run it back, but like they got married, adopted the dog, some cats, and a baby. Like what? Hold on, I'm gonna run this back. So what is it? She was still in school. She was 16, and Babas was 20,
29,
29.
so.
Okay.
Bit weird.
Yeah.
He would even fly over her school in his helicopter to impress her. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
They married in Portugal while on holiday in 2019, before moving to Glycanera, adopting little Roxy the dog, 4 cats, and a baby.
See, they got married in 2019, adopted the dog, 4 cats, and a baby. Like, did they just want to have a kid, like, instantly? Or.
And their life seemed absolutely fantastic, from the outside, lovely house, lovely wife, lovely life. Caroline, she was mad into kickboxing, Babis, a fiend for the L bikes, and things were great. And neighbors, they would say they were a lovely, lovely young couple. They had it all, and they weren't going to give it back. Until May 2021.
Oh man, this happened last year. Damn.
περιγράφετε, παιδιά.
Ήταν τόσο διαλυτικές στιγμές. Τι ζητάτε τώρα, τι ζητάτε.
Να μην γίνει σε κανέναν άλλον ποτέ ξανά. Τίποτα άλλο. Τα παιδιά ξέρουν τη δουλειά τους, θα τους πιάσουν και αυτό που πέρασα εγώ και η οικογένειά μου και η οικογένεια της γυναίκας μου να μην το περάσει ξανά κανείς ποτέ. Τους παρακαλέσαμε, τους είπαμε ότι έχουμε πού θα βρουν τα χρήματα.
The robbers had made off with so much in cash. The reason Babis and Caroline had that much cash was they were in the process of buying some land outside of the city because they wanted to build their dream house, baby. And I think a lot of Greeks don't keep their money in banks because.
Yeah, she's 19. She was 1920, and this happened in 2021. This happened like post COVID. So like, you know, I don't know, man.
Because I don't know if you heard, but about over a decade ago they had a spot of trouble there. They had a fear that you might not be able to get it when you need to. When they broke in, Babis cooperated. The cash was in a Monopoly box. Great Orship place to hide your Kabashta, you decide. Caroline, she didn't try to cooperate though. She tried to fight them off, and that's well, why things ended the way they did. These bad bastards didn't take to kind of that. It's kind of odd though that, you know, she was 19 years old, just mother to an 11-month-old baby. Fighting off these 4 guys who had guns kind of, you know, would go against what you would think her motherly instincts would be. You know, give them the shit and let them get out of here. Nobody needs to get hurt. That was weird. Babis said, though, that these dickheads, when they broke in, they tied him up, they blindfolded him, but he could hear them talking. He couldn't see them, but he could hear them. And he said they spoke with accents. Accents, you say? They spoke in broken Greek. So you can see where this is going. And so, the hunt was on.
So he was trying to blame an American.
It was less than a week later that an arrest was made.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Right on the border between Greece and Bulgaria, in a place called Evros, almost 900 kilometers away by car. A 43-year-old Georgian, not the state, not the font, the country, he was arrested over the murder of Caroline Crouch.
Of course.
Now, he was charged with carrying out another burglary in a house about 20 minutes from Caroline's, where he, along with 4 others, broke into the house of an elderly couple and robbed them. Very much like Caroline's, right? They broke in, they tied up the elderly couple, the old ones who lived there, and forced them to hand over all their shit. So, like, well, you know, no shit. But he wasn't a killer, he wasn't terribly violent, what happened to that other couple. So to go from that to murder, well, that's what they say, but you know what? It only takes one. And at the same time, police announced they were looking for a recently released Albanian man in connection with what happened to Caroline.
Man.
Then, a few days later, footage was released. Footage of a suspicious car and motorbike driving away from the scene.
Okay.
This was around the time Babis said they would have fled the home after killing Caroline and the dog. And a neighbor said that bike had been in the area days before, circling the block, scoping out the place.
So either this guy is extremely lucky, he killed his wife, and he's extremely lucky that these guys so happen were, you know, scheming at the same time as, you know, they were about to, you know what I'm saying? They were about to rob somebody else, or they robbed them and them other people too. I hope he didn't do it, man. But
the local gangs, especially, you know, foreign local gangs, Albanian, Georgian, they were thoroughly examined by the police. They were cracking skulls. This case was huge. It was so high profile.
Yeah, I bet.
The murder of Caroline Crouch had gripped Greece by the balls.
Yeah, that ain't a good look, man.
Τη σύλληψη των δραστών. Να σας πω ότι έγιναν οι σχετικές...
But no progress was being made.
He looks stressed.
Έχει όσα περισσότερα μπορούσαμε να μας έρθουν και κάθε μέρα Αυτή τη στιγμή είναι 10, 15, 20 άνθρωποι στο δρόμο και ψάχνουν. Αυτό ξέρω, είναι με συνέχεια σε επικοινωνία μαζί μου όσο έχω μπορέσει να τους βοηθήσω. Αν υπάρχει κάποιος που μπορεί να τους βρει, θα τους βρουν τα παιδιά αυτά.
Ήταν τόσο σκληροί. Δηλαδή δεν καταλάβαιναν από τα παρακάλια σας, από αυτά που τους λέγατε.
Παιδιά, μας έδεσαν και από εκείνο το σημείο και μετά δεν τους είχαμε πει ήδη που είναι τα χρήματα. Δεν ξέρω.
Εσύ κατάφερες και πήρες τηλέφωνο.
Όταν συνειδητοποίησε ότι η γυναίκα σου δεν βρίσκεται στη ζωή.
Όταν μέλησαν οι αστυνομοί. Όταν ήρθαν οι αστυνόμοι μέσα και μέλησαν και έβγαλαν από το κεφάλι μου τα δεσμά.
Και η κορούνα?
Η κορώνα μου ευτυχώς δεν έχει χτυπήσει, πήγε στο νοσοκομείο προληπτικά και ευτυχώς είναι καλά.
Days went by, and after multiple interviews, the police were unable to link the Georgian man to the murder. And although the home of Babis and Caroline had CCTV, it wasn't on the night of. As for forensics on Caroline's body, nada. In fact, forensics in the entire house, well, these intruders were magicians.
Ooh,
under her fingernails, it was conclusive, and there were no real marks on her body to speak of.
Okay.
Babis would post this on Instagram, a loving memory to his dear departed. It seems like the life they had together, one of vacations, luxuries, and love, had been destroyed by some other. But the pictures Babis and Caroline, posted on social media, they weren't the real story. Of course, it's the usual thing, what you post on social media.
Now spill the tea!
That's not reality.
Tell us.
That's not the real life they were living. People, of course, they only post what they want you to see.
That is the truth when it comes to social media. We have these, curated lives that we create for those that we hold dear. We allow them to see the perfect bite-sized bits of our lives, giving them just enough happiness and sadness so that they feel like they know us, but they don't ever really know us. You just post a little tidbit here and there on Twitter, but ain't nobody, they see your post, they like it, retweet it, but they ain't really there with you in the trenches, but hey, it be like that.
They don't post pictures of the boring and shit times, which we all have, without exception. And without exception was Caroline Crouch. Babis and Caroline had been in marriage counselling together, and the fact that they weren't sleeping together can be a clue. Things weren't great, and she kept a diary. She wrote parts of her diary in code, so I guess Babis couldn't, read it. But we can. 31st of December 2019.
Now, they ain't trying to look in to see if there was any issues between them two. I guess they was trying to be, I guess they weren't trying to be too rude.
I argued with Babis again, this time a lot. I hit him, I cursed him, and he broke the door. The only thing I wanted was for him to ask if I was well when I woke up. I'm thinking about leaving, going to my sister. I don't know if I can continue with Babis. I love him so much that I can't leave him, even if this relationship is harming me.
Baby, he was trying to groom you. That's why he picked you up when you were 16. That way, I don't know. And now he's trying to, I don't know, man. Trying to trap you with all them responsibilities when you got married. Y'all went to holiday, got married, adopted a dog, 4 cats, and a baby. Bro, he's trying to load you up with responsibilities, keep you distracted.
From her diary, it seems she had wanted to leave for a long time. The only thing stopping her was that she didn't want her daughter to grow up without her parents being together.
I can see that.
Some of the codes she would use, it's been reported, so she would use the letter M a lot, which police thought meant malakas, which basically means wanker. Then D, G, gamma, dangerous fucking guy. XX, Xylo, as in being. PP, Paleopustus, dirty old F word. Yeah, the one with the G's in it. It seems they argued quite a lot, and she had to be careful about what she said, hence the diary where she could, you know. And let's go back to something earlier. The CCTV inside their house. This was one of the last shots. Babis with their daughter. This was taken around 1 a.m. And then, hours before the intruders broke in, the SD card had been removed from the camera. Some timing. It was over a month after the murder, while Babis and Caroline's family were at a memorial for young Caroline. Here he is hugging her mother. While they were at that memorial service for her on Alanissus, police arrived and said, Babis, you gotta come in.
Yeah.
Babis, he was a lot like another Greek, an ancient Greek, Herodotus. A teller of stories, Babis, he kind of had his own The Histories. And also a father of lies. The story just didn't quite add up, didn't make much sense. In fact, nothing he said did, and the police had found proof of it.
Yeah, I mean...
Babis and Caroline had gotten into an argument over custody. She had been texting a friend saying she was leaving the early morning of the 11th of May 2021, and then he killed her. Babis was arrested and charged with his wife's murder.
This is Babis Ananiastopoulos, comforting his mother-in-law this week. Her memorial service was held on Thursday. And that is when Ananiastopoulos was detained by police and told that they had fresh evidence against him.
He asked what's going on, and his reaction is kind of strange and awkward. He told them that the memorial isn't over and asked the officers to let him attend the memorial until the end. They refused to let him and told him for his own good to hide his cell phone and not call anyone, and that they have to leave immediately.
Caroline's murder in May shocked Greece.
The examination of some evidence, and especially the digital evidence that we had confiscated from the site, gave us some clues, especially the evidence that showed movement of objects, in particular the husband's phone, during the same time he had testified that he was tied up.
Yikes.
For weeks, Greece has been shocked by the spectre of a violent, murderous gang. If the police are right, then this horrendous crime instead comes down to the fury of just one man.
Well then.
Caroline had been wearing a smart watch, which, you know, tracks your pulse and all that kind of shit. And it showed that at 4 a.m. she had been sleeping soundly. Her pulse went from sleeping to spiking in seconds, and 11 minutes later it flatlined. This was an hour before he said they broke in. And Babis also had on his phone, you know, a step tracker, step counter, and it showed that while he said he was tied to a chair, the phone step counter showed he'd been walking around his house quite a bit that entire night. He staged the scene, killed his own dog, and placed his child next to her dead mother to make the scene more, grisly.
My goodness. My man, what is up with you?
And then 2 hours later, he called the police. During an 8-hour interrogation, he broke down and confessed. He said it got physical. She pushed and punched, and his judgment became, quote, blurred. And so he strangled her. He said she refused to apologize to him after an argument over their daughter, presumably custody issues, as she wanted to leave, and, well, he suffocated her. He said he smothered Caroline to death by pressing her face against a pillow for 5 minutes, and he could hear her scream as he did so. He then said he concocted the whole armed robbery scenario as he didn't want Lydia to lose both her parents. Almost 6 weeks after Caroline's death, he was in cuffs. His trial began a year later.
So his trial's this year. Huh.
He argued wasn't premeditated, didn't plan out jack shit. You know, Caroline, fisticuffs, and he just snapped and strangled her, and then didn't know what to do. so he killed his dog. Motherfucker. Malakis, am I right? After all, she was a kickboxer and could knock 7 shades of shite out of him. He said
Probably could.
he was aiming for the lesser charge of manslaughter, not murder, a crime of passion. But the prosecution, they disputed that, because Caroline, she was asleep when he attacked, and they could tell via her, boom boom. So,
Yeah,
well,
that is true.
yeah. He was also charged with murdering their dog, Roxy. Fucking hanging it from the stairs.
Τέρας, Τίνος, θα σ' απίσει φυλακή, Καριόλη. Τίνος, θα σ' απίσει φυλακή, αλήτη.
He would take the stand for 10 hours, saying he lost control. But it wasn't enough to convince the judge and the jury.
You lost control? Why
He
didn't
was
you just
found
tell
guilty
people you
and
killed her?
received a life sentence for premeditated murder. In Greece, that's no parole for 20 years. Also a jail term of 11 years and 6 months for the brutal murder of Roxy, and a fine of 21,000 euros.
Man, you sick, bro. Can't drink. I went across the street and they didn't have AHA yesterday, and I was sad. Man. That's messed up, bro.
Probably the most high-profile case in recent Greek criminal history. Tragically, once again, we see a case. Just divorce. Just fucking divorce. He was an okay liar. People from the start did doubt his story.
Yeah, I would have doubted that straight up, man. He couldn't even tell the story straight.
Her fighting back with a baby was also not terribly usual. This was just not something that happened in Greece. And kind of how he acted.
You know, I don't want to be like this in the recent events of things. I've been watching a lot of TV and a lot of things dealing with lies and truths. You know, I don't want to bring anything controversial here. You know, but some of us been watching it too. You know, and you know, I feel like when you have something happen to you, you are able, I know some parts of you can block out the information, because I myself have gone through traumatic things, and you know, some parts of the situation are it's like blurry, you know, it just happens really fast, but like the moments themselves still, I feel like, stick with you. Like the gritty moments of it still stick with you. And like homie right here is talking about he got robbed. Okay, so like a couple years ago, beginning of COVID, I was sitting in my house playing video games, and some homie tried to break in my house. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here, I'm trying to play the long forgotten Crucible. It's no longer, it was an Amazon MOBA. I tried to play it. It doesn't exist no more, because they had no idea what they were doing as game developers. Like, they had 2 game modes. They had this weird mode that no one knew how to play, and you couldn't talk to people because talking to people is toxic. And then like they had this weird battle royale mode that didn't make any sense. But yeah. But anyways, I'm sitting here trying to play Crucible, and then like next thing I know, I hear a bang on my door. I'm just chilling, bang on the door. I'm like, must be the neighbors doing some stuff, you know. Ollie gets up, does this little perf bark, you know what I'm saying? He's like, hey man, checking out the scene, cause my homie, my pa is sitting in the room, and I was like, hey Ollie, what you find? He came back, eyes all big, and I'm like, now Ollie, your eyes is looking pretty big right now. They look like he came back, and he you know, we don't speak the same language, but if we could, Ollie told me, "Hey, bro, you need to go take a look at this door." Cause it kept happening. I realized it was real up close. So, I get up and I go over to the door and I look through the peephole. First, I don't even look through the peephole. I'm looking at the door and I see my door is like, pushed in, kinda, and somebody's banging on it real hard. And I'm like, oh shit, what the hell is this right here going on? What is going on here? Like, I'm just like, what the hell could possibly be going on? So I walk up and without thinking, I just look in the peephole and then close the top little latch. And I look in, I see this weird, scruffy looking guy banging on my door. He's just elbowing it. And I'm just sitting there and I take a step back and I'm just like, now what the hell is this? And I'm like, hey, buddy, what's up? Can I help you? And he's like, give me everything you got. And I'm like, I don't know about that, buddy. And then, like, I'm sitting there and he's like, you got 5 minutes. I'm gonna come back and smoke you. And I'm like, well, then, I don't like the sound of that. So I go back in my room and I just call my mom and I'm like, hey bro, somebody's trying to break in my house, man. And my mom's like, what? Somebody's what? She's freaking out a little bit. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, somebody. And I was like, I think I need to call the cops. And then she's like, yeah, you probably should do that. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should, because the only thing I got, he says he's gonna come back and smoke me, but the only thing I got is this baseball bat and this knife. And then, like, I just pick up the baseball bat, and I'm just like, I guess it's all I got. So I hang up with my mom, and I call the police, and I ain't getting no luck, man. They didn't even come, bro. Well, they came, but they didn't come up to my house. I was like a little excited because I was like, yeah, bro, somebody's trying to break in my house. I don't know what to do. Like, my door's stuck. I'm up here. He says he's gonna come kill me. I don't really believe that, but But they end up going to my like apartment complex. They live in these old houses, and like they don't come up to my apartment. They're dumb and they can't figure out that there's like multiple paths and potentially like a path upstairs. They don't really investigate the scene all that well. So like I call again, and like they are left. They're busy, and this is when all the protest stuff is going on. So like they couldn't help because there was stuff going on. And then I had to make a police report on the phone, and it was kind of annoying because this guy told me he was gonna come back and kill me, and yeah, it was very unsettling. But then okay, hold on, let me get a drink. Let me get my drink. I have some more aha. But then yeah, hold on. But yeah, then I called my landlord, and they called a maintenance guy to come fix my doorish area, like the frame and everything, because they was like whatever, because it wasn't that bad. And then he like left my door, like I had no door to my apartment for like an hour. So like I was really freaking out then. So like this guy is, told me he's gonna come back and kill me. He just walked off because he couldn't get inside after a while. And then I'm like, I guess he's probably not really about that life. But the fact that my door, was open, I guess he probably saw the cops and ran off and was like, ain't worth it. Which I don't blame him. I'd probably run away too if, I tried to break in somebody's house, couldn't get in because they were home, and then the cops came. I'd feel like a big goofy. I'd feel like a big goofy because I literally picked the wrong house to go break into. Not only was somebody here, yeah, not only was somebody, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you've been listening to the whole story, but yeah, during the beginning of COVID, somebody tried to break in my house while I was here. But yeah. And then, like, oh, before that, sorry, excuse me, before the maintenance man, My mom called my cousins, and they came over. They came over with their guns, and they were like, "Yeah, dude, we got you, bro." And they like helped me get out of my house because my door was broke and I couldn't like get out. I needed someone like to pull the door. I needed someone to like pull the door while I did like the top latch. But eventually I got out. They stayed for a little bit and until like my maintenance guy came, and then they fixed the door, and then I was straight. I was good. Literally, like the next day I went to the store and bought me a gun, and I was like, "Yeah, America, Second Amendment." Never before then did I believe in owning a gun, but the fact that somebody tried to break in my house while I was here, and then I called the police, and I called the police multiple times to see when they were coming, and no one came. So at that point, I lost faith in the police system and said the founding fathers made the Second Amendment just for this reason, so that if somebody tried to come up and run me for my shit, I could pull out my and threaten me with a shooting. I could pull out my blicky blicky and shoot them back if they come at me in my house like that. You know, I don't want to be a violent person, nor do I advocate violence. But if you, what does that flag say? Don't tread on me. I'm most definitely about that. Don't try to step on me, bro. I don't I like to live in a sphere of neutrality, and I don't like creating waves. I like balance. Uh-huh. Like I used to be all, let's go with the dark side, burn it to the ground, like Sith stuff. But then I realized with the Force, I like the Jedi, don't get me wrong, but I like Force lightning. But then I like Force lightning, hear me out. But then I learned, like, it's about a balance. You gotta be at peace with your inner self. And you see, it just so happened that I needed a new tool, so when words could no longer set the balance to a gray area, and someone tries to take me for my life, that I can reset that balance and let them know that my life matters, and they are going to have to reevaluate. They should most definitely reevaluate the decisions that they are about to make upon my life. You see, I'm all for individuals being able to do whatever they want, but when your actions then impede upon another individual, which this individual, he was most definitely trying to, he wanted to do something that was going to impede upon what I wanted to do, and I wanted to play video games, and he wanted my stuff. And I was not going to let that happen. I can let you know right now, I was not going to let that happen. Uh, I let him, I felt like me talking to him the way I did while he tried to break into my house. I let him know that I was not taking him serious. To me, I thought it was a huge joke of life. I thought it was hilarious. I still, to this day, maybe that's just the wrong way I should be taking this situation, but I thought it was the most hilarious thing that I could have ever happened to me in my life, because it was the to me it was the most to me I laugh at things that are very unexpected, I think, and I get fun at seeing things that are that are very unexpected. I guess it's also because I don't really try to expect for things to happen in my life. I enjoy the things that do happen to my life as they come. Of course, I do try to steer and move towards specific goals and outcomes, but I once read a book that was called How to Not Give a Fuck, and it was pretty much talking about how the reason why we are very upset with a lot of the things that happen in our life is because we are on a level entitled. So I felt like for me to achieve a level of happiness that I should not expect anything even out of my days to a specific degree. So for me, I felt I had extreme enjoyment out of that entire situation, not only because it happened, I thought it was funny that it happened, but because I survived and I felt like I handled that situation fairly well. um I could have freaked out and handled it very wrong, something completely bad could have happened, but I felt like nothing bad did happen from the situation, and I was able to grow from it. As a result of growing, I obtained a weapon for self defense and learned how to use this weapon. And luckily, if I ever come into this situation again, I most definitely will laugh at this individual in their face. All right, let's get back to the video. I don't take things like this serious. I don't know why I can't. It's just something about danger that makes me laugh. Simply because I feel like there's either one or two ways there's one or two ways the situation will turn out. Either nothing bad happens or bad things happen, and those are the one or the two things that will ever happen with a situation. So if I come at it neutral and I exude a good energy, maybe I can sway the universe to making something good happen in my favor. And that's how I try to achieve that, how I go about that situation, and how I try to go about all situations. Because, one, I got to a point where I just don't care about I don't know, I just don't care. It just doesn't matter. So it's like I do care, and things do matter, but it's like to ultimately get upset and or distraught for a prolonged period of time, um, does not, I feel like, is more detriment to us as people. You should most definitely think about what happened and how it happened and what you could do to no longer allow bad things to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, say you failed at a speech. Well, why'd you fail at the speech? You should reflect on that and then, grow, adapt, improve, and then never allow you to be bad at the speech thing again. Grow from the things that happen to you, even good things or bad things. Like if something good happens to you, you could always look at it and be like, that's good. This was a successful thing. Maybe I should do this more, and then potentially, switch it up, grow from it. And then if you do something and then something bad happens, you can see what you were trying to do. What were you trying? You know what I'm saying? See, go back, look at what you were trying to do, see where you messed up, see where you can improve on where you messed up, and then if you're able to recognize that, then you continue to try. You can either try it again and or try a new variant of it. That's just how I see it. To ultimately allow something like that to take control of your life and hold you back, you should not. I know I still allow some things to uh, drive me and control me, but it's a ever going process. You gotta learn. That's what I'm saying. You gotta see that it's a problem and adapt from it. But that's another thing. That's the reason why I kind of don't. I wasn't really scared of it, because I was just like, this guy's tweaking, bro. And then if I do something too crazy, he's not gonna like it. But hey, let's get back to this.
Seems kind of lame to me. He should have watched some more of those Greek tragedies. Get some tips on acting. Instead of maybe creating one. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time watching this guy, his little Hawaiian shirt. Here, go on. See you as always real soon in the next little video. But until then, just please look after yourselves and each other.
Will do, man.
Thanks. I love you. Moikapy.